Alright, so here we go with a series of short tutorials on using AnyFX plugin from Pixelan, and we are going to show the use of a special version called AnyFX for Dogwaffle. This is something that you can buy directly from Pixelan, or you can find it bundled with the Cool Creative Bundle. If you go to coolcreativebundle.com, you'll find that it's a great value to get it. Let's start from scratch. Let's go with the sky. Actually, no. Let's first start with an animation, and we indicate how many frames we want. We'll make it 30 frames a second, and we'll make it 3 seconds long. Let's go a little bit further. 4 seconds there. Okay, so 120 frames. We will start now with a background that contains a filter, and that will be a rendered sky. There you go. Let's make it the wide angle as much as we can, and let's change the colors a little bit darker. Where are my darks? Well, maybe we need to go edit that. Let's go and edit this gradient. So let's go reduce the green. Let's reduce the blue. Just keep it overall. Actually, we could just reduce the value. Just keep it overall really dark. Okay. And yeah, see, that gives us nice dark clouds with a little bit of a reddish tint. And in fact, the sky color, we could kind of give it a blood red color. Ooh, that's scary. Or maybe the sky remains purple bluish, but what we do is change the haze or the fog towards the bottom, kind of to a reddish sunset look. Not too bright though. Okay, so here we got some fairly high amount of, you see, cloud threshold. There you go. What else do we need? Oh, that's pretty good. A little bit blurry, there you go. So now I don't want that just on this one frame, and I don't want to have to do this again and again for the next frames. I'll just ask Dogwaffle to animate that sky for us. Right. So the clouds are going to go a little bit to the left or to the right, whatever you give it, a plus or minus value here, and a little bit stronger in one direction, and then they'll also change really quickly. They change shapes. Okay, that. So what's happening now is it's rendering that into the entire frame sequence. The initial frame sequence had just this one starting point image. It's going to be replacing it all over. And 120 frames later, we now have a animation coming up. A few seconds, and that animation will be essentially giving us the moving sky background that we want to start from. And there we are. Now the sky is rendered at the top, but it's also kind of mirrored on the bottom, and it's kind of cycling in there. I don't want that, so I'm going to draw a landscape on top of that here. One good way to do that is to perhaps paint with an alpha channel, or with an airbrush. Let's take the medium airbrush, or let's see something else, tempera. Let's take the rake brush there and make it black. It's already black. Let's just paint that on top. Okay, and I want that to look like there are some trees on top. So maybe what I need to do is actually get my my particle brushes here. We might as well use those for particles or trees. Let's see, I think we have some pine branches. What else might be useful here? Trees, winter branches. There's really a lot of different tools we could use here. Let's make it darker. Let's bring the gain down to black. There you go. So this is going to be foreground material, right? Okay, and I want to really have all that black stuff selected so that I can paint it on top of the rest. So let me go and undo the whole thing quickly. And instead, what I shall do is render it with the alpha channel. So instead of doing shrinking lines, I'm going to do shrinking lines plus. and perhaps a little bit more on the wild side. Let's go with randomize a little bit more. Alright, so now I'm painting all this, and when I let the cursor go, it will actually have selected my selection mask as well. It will have put that in the alpha channel. Okay, that was too dense. Let's undo that and try one more time with a little bit more branches showing. There you go. Okay, so now I can pick that selection. This entire black area with the selection mask, the marching ants showing there, I can pick that up in my custom brush. That's the brush. Use it as a custom brush right there. Why do I do that? Well, first of all, I'll store that, and then I'll render that on top of all of the other frames as well. Let's go undo it from here, undo it, and then go to the animation, and there is a brush keyframer. The brush keyframer takes that entire image sequence, the entire animation we currently have, and places the custom brush right over it. Maybe we want to make it a little bit bigger. There you go. Okay, and all you gotta do is render that. It renders that frame, that custom brush over the entire animated sequence of your movie. Alright, so we now have an animation where the foreground is showing those twigs, the background is showing the animated sky. It is time to add the snow effect from Pixelan. So let's not forget to save that. We'll call that cue number 2. Okay, we probably don't need this brush anymore, but just in case, it might be good to save it. Let's go to the brush and save that. Cue 2, it'll be oh wait, we don't need to save that as a DWA. Yeah, it's a Targa file we want to save here. That way it will also save the alpha channel if there is one. That's for the brush, and we don't need it anymore. Alright, so at this time, let's get rid of the particle brushes and go back into the AnyFX animation. First thing we'll do is we'll simply render that snow effect all over it. Alright, so we'll go to the snow, use the preview. We already are. It remembers the most recent folder where we were, so let's go there, open that. And we got a, oh boy, we have a snowstorm going on here. So let's see, this one here I think will clear the settings. Are you sure you want to clear your settings? Yes. And so now we should have simply a snowfall that goes from top down. Okay, that's a fairly tame snowfall. Let's reduce the snowflakes, that's kind of their size, and the snow altogether in terms of the density of it, or the brightness. So it will be much lighter snowfall. Okay, nonetheless, it's a good quality snow. Like, I mean, you'll find it looks like a pretty impressive, good looking snow, with a little bit of chaotic undulations and wind effects, turbulent effects. Okay, and the wind blowing perhaps a little more to the right or to the left. Alright, so what we need to do is keyframe it so that at the beginning it's where, and then towards the end it's somewhere else, but the snow goes downwards, not upwards. Alright, so we'll start with this position. That will be at the very beginning. And you see the sky is moving as we scrub through the animation here. We'll keyframe that. That's there. Then we will go towards the end of the animation. Although we don't actually have to do that. What we can do is simply go to the end here and grab the point and bring it down to the bottom. Okay, so now we have a progression, actually a regression if you want. The parameter goes from 1.0 down to 0. There's many other values it could go through, but this is 100%, and that will be all we need to actually make the move, make the snow animate. And that said, we are basically ready now to go and render that. So you see the frame count at the top, over 30 frames, 40 frames, 50 frames. and it's rendering our snowfall right over that entire animation sequence. And that is AnyFX at work. Now there are many other filters in there to use. That's the one I've started to explore a little bit, and I'd love to show you that, and we will do much more in the future. So stay tuned for more. I think that this is going to be a great add-on to PD Pros, especially for animation and video effects. There are many other things you can do with that, and we'll probably be showing you a few here and a few more tutorials to come in the future. Alright, again, you can get AnyFX for PD directly from Pixelan or through the Cool Creative bundle. It's a little bit more expensive at the Cool Creative bundle, but you get so many other tools with that as well, including PD Pro version 4. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll be back in another episode pretty soon on the Daily Dose with PD Howler.